have been reading some really good books in 2019, and in this video I'm going to tell you about my top 15 books that I have read in 2019 so far. But before we do that, hi there, I am Manpreet. I make book related videos on this channel. If you are new here, please make sure you subscribe, follow me on my social media and turn your notifications on so that you get notified every time I post a new video. There are 15 books in this video because I did not want to leave out any of the books that I really enjoyed reading, because all of those are amazing. All of those are something that you need to read. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. A lot of these books I have reviewed, so I will talk less about those books and just point you to the review videos that you can check in the description down below. Okay, just click in the description and see the full reviews of those books which I say I have reviewed. Okay, number one book is something that I have featured in a lot of videos now, and I really like this book because of how much I could relate with this book, and that is Alumni of the Year by Thompson Robert. It's a story of a guy who is struggling with his work-life balance, and he signs up, actually buys his way in to the Alumni of the Year competition at his school. It's a story I could relate with very much, and that's why I liked it. I have a full review of this book down below in the description, so check it out and do try out this book, okay? Number two book that I absolutely loved is Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. It's a contemporary fiction. It's about this girl who has severe anxiety problem and she cannot step out of her house, and she talks about her life, and it's hilarious, it's relatable at some point, and it's an amazing book that you need to read if you want to read a feel-good book, okay? Number three is The Ultimate Brian Tracy Library, which is an audio collection that I found on Audible, and it's a long audio book collection, and I loved it so much. It's basically self-help, okay, and it talks a lot about how to conduct yourself better, how to manage your time better, how to get more successful. All in all, it's a really good and a really useful kind of audiobook that you can read for self-help, and this is my number three in the favorite list. By the way, this list is not in any particular order. All of these books are amazing and I believe you should try these out. Next one is a mythological fiction by an Indian author, Narasimha, which is based on the fourth avatar of Vishnu. I have reviewed this book. I really liked it. Kevin Missel is an author who has written mythological fantasy books before. He has written the Kalki trilogy, and I liked that one as well. But this year I read Narasimha, which I really liked. I really liked it more than Kalki, and Kalki was also my favorite. So it's just a really good book you need to try out. It's a really good series that you can start and follow as the books come up. Next book is again a part of a series. I started this new series called Heroes of Olympus by Rick Riordan. Now you need to read the series only after reading Percy Jackson series. Okay, there are five books in the Percy Jackson series, and you need to read these books, and after that you can try out Heroes of Olympus. This is the lost hero and it's a really good book. I feel like Percy Jackson was something that I really liked, and this is something that I really liked more than Percy Jackson. So I am really excited to read more books in the series. I already have the second book that I want to get to very soon, so you can check it out as well. This is basically based on Greek mythology, but in this series, in Heroes of Olympus, Greek mythology and Roman mythology is sort of mixed up, so you can try this out as well. Next book in my top books of 2019 video is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I actually listened to the audiobook, but this is a brilliant book. I got so many takeaways from this book, and this book has helped me to look at certain things in a completely new perspective and helped me to just improve myself. It made me realize some things that I was doing wrong, and I had no idea that those things were wrong. I mean, this book is amazing. You need to try it if you are into self-help books, and if you want to make better connections, build a better network, whether it's for work or just, you know, have a circle of friends that you can be with. This book is a really good one you can try out. Okay. Next book that I really liked reading in this year is Dr. Sleep by Stephen King. This is the book after The Shining, sequel to The Shining by Stephen King. The Shining is one of the most popular and recommended works of Stephen King, and Dr. Sleep is something that I really enjoyed as well. I would really say that if you want to read Stephen King books, there are a lot to pick from, and I haven't read all of them. I have read just two so far, I am still working on the third and fourth book, but I would say from what I have found out so far, it's a good book that you can try. Okay, so Dr. Sleep it is. Next I have We Are Terror by Hugo Dumas. Now Hugo Dumas is an author who appears twice in this video because I read two books by Hugo Dumas this year and both of them were a find. Okay, these books are so good. Hugo Dumas has a very nice and very different writing style, and even in my review videos, I have review for We Are Terror. I will link it down below in the description. I have mentioned that to explain how he writes is very difficult. You just have to read it to find it out. He has written this sort of like fantasy science fiction kind of book that you can try out. So there is We Are Terror, and there is one more which is By Death Defined. So I would say first read By Death Defined and then We Are Terror. We Are Terror is something that I liked even more than By Death Defined. In both of the books there is a war going on. Okay, in By Death Defined there is an invasion into a country and you follow a family and how these members of the family are soldiers and how they fight for their country. And in We Are Terror, there is a fight between humans and supernatural elements. And both of these books are amazing, written in a very unique manner. You need to try these out. I think now there is also a paperback version of these books available just in case you do not want to read ebooks. I will also link that down below so that if you want to pick up the paperbacks, you can. Because when I reviewed these books, I think the paperbacks were not available. Okay, now they are. So just check the links in the description and try out these two books because they are very unique. Okay, then I have a non-fiction, a collection of essays by Chetan Bhagat, India Positive. Now there's a lot of good and bad that is said about this author, and I like to make my judgments from what I read. So what I read in this book was brilliant. I think the author really touched on a lot of social issues, a lot of political issues, a lot of economic issues, and tried to give a solution to those issues, and try to ignite a discussion about those issues, which I really felt good about. And most of these essays are balanced, put forward really well. So this is one of my favorite books in 2019 so far, and I would definitely recommend you to read this book if you just want to be a part of the discussion as a youth of the country. Then I have actually 6 books. The Mortal Instruments series, which is sitting right there. City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and City of Heavenly Fire. These are the 6 books in the Mortal Instruments series, which is an amazing series. Okay, I'll tell you, you'll read the first book, which I have reviewed. I'll link it down below, and you'll be okay. You'll be like, maybe I don't want to read this series. Okay, you'll read the second book and you'll be very happy about it. You'll read the third book and you'll be again like, okay, first part was but by the end of it you will be like, wow, this is an amazing series. And then you'll read the next book and you'll be like, then you'll read the 5th book and you'll be like, wow, I need to continue reading. And then you will read the 6th book, and that's when it hits you that how much you love the series, how much the series is a part of you now. So you need to read all of the 6 books. You will fall in love with it. I'm giving you my word for it. So just read all of these books and love all of these books, and read more books by Cassandra Clare because she writes amazingly, really amazingly. Okay. Anyway, there is another series that is set in future and is a sort of like a science fiction but a fantasy, which is called Magic Required by H.S. Paisley. That was again something that I read as an ebook and I really liked it. I feel like this year has been a year of fantasy for me. I have a lot of great experience with fantasy novels, and Magic Required is also something, a series that I really am looking forward to reading more next year or whenever it comes out. So yeah, this is also something you can try out. Then again I have a fantasy novel. I'm in love with fantasy. What do? I have Born to be King, The Epic of Kautilya by Deepak Thomas. This book was really a find for me because I did not go into this book thinking that I would like it so much. I was like, okay, it's a fantasy novel written by an Indian author, and those are rare, like fantasy novels that are not mythological fiction in India. And in this year only I had a very bad experience with the fantasy novel too, and I was like, okay, this would be either good or bad, but I didn't realize this would be like really good, okay? And I would say you need to try this out. I have reviewed this book as well. I'll link it down below in the description. I'm sorry I'm not giving a lot of intro and a lot of, intro to the story of the books, because I feel like I have talked about them so many times and I have like full reviews discussing these books. So if you find any of these interesting, just from the cover or just from the fact that these are my favorites, these are really good, okay, you need to read those, you need to watch those review videos to find out more about them and make your decision, and to buy these before this year ends, and to read these before this year ends, okay? Then I have The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, which was an amazing experience. It's a contemporary fiction novel about the kids who are suffering from cancer, and it's just an amazing novel. It's just an amazing book. It's not even that sad, which a lot of people say it is. It's not that sad. It's just amazing. It's just beautiful, and you need to try this out as well. I plan to do a full review of this book. Like, I have so much to say about this book, but then I just didn't. And if I don't do the review right away, I just kind of lose my passion for doing that review. So I think I have lost it. If I find it again, I will make a standalone review about this book. But until then, I'm going to remind you in every other video of mine to read this book, okay, if you haven't read it already. Lastly, I have this book, ABC Murders, which is a murder mystery by Agatha Christie. Now, I have read a lot of books by Agatha Christie. Some of them I absolutely loved, and some of them were like, okay. But this one is something that I really liked. It's basically about this set of letters that come to Poirot, and this person is challenging the detective Poirot that I'm going to commit this murder, and these are the details, catch me if you can. And it's really interesting, and I really enjoyed reading this book. So yeah, these are my top 15 books of 2019 that I have read so far. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. My motive to make this video was to tell you about all the books that I have enjoyed, that I feel like were totally worth my time, that I really liked telling you guys about all of those books, so that maybe you guys will also love these books as much as I did, enjoy these books as much as I did. And yes, if you have read any of these books, comment down below and tell me what you think about those, okay? And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. This is Nanbi signing off. I'll be back with another video very soon.